Sometimes I'll come home from work. I had a productive day. Things really went well. I'm in a good mood. My wife's not in a good mood. Turned out she had a difficult day, and she starts telling me about the problems she had. And of course, as I'm listening, I'm sympathetic. But the more she goes on about what a hard day she had, the more I start rethinking my day. And then I say, you think you had a hard day? You know what happened to me? And inside of 10 minutes, we're each convinced we're leading miserably unhappy lives. And so we declare a complaining fast. For 24 or 48 hours, no one can complain about anything. And it's remarkable how it can change the mood so much. Because for a lot of us, complaining has become a way of life. There are a lot of families in which the relationships, everybody's trying to show what a difficult life they have. And what ends up happening, it puts everybody in a bad mood because you really do feel it. I know a man who decided to practice this vis-a-vis his daughter. It all came about this way. He had a 10-year-old daughter, and he came home from work. He went into her room, and her room was a big mess, so he yelled at her about that. At dinner, she showed bad table manners. He snapped at her. He asked her if she had done her homework. She hadn't, so he was upset about that. Later, she did her homework. She showed it to him, and there were mistakes in it, and he was upset at that point too. While he was in bed trying to fall asleep that night, he started reviewing his interactions with his daughter since he had come home from work. And he thought, if my boss at work treated me the way I'm treating my daughter, I'd become convinced that he thought I'm a total incompetent. So he decided that for the next 2 days he wouldn't complain about anything about his daughter. And what he was able to do was to get in touch again with all the things he loved and appreciated about her. Because once we get into that complaining mode, vis-a-vis our lives or vis-a-vis other people, we tend to see everything refracted through that complaint. We're just waiting for them to slip up. All of a sudden, for 2 days, he remembered all the things about he loved. His daughter's affectionate nature, his daughter's intelligence. She in turn blossomed because when she wasn't afraid that she was being judged over everything that she did, she could start reacting more spontaneously. So I really propose for people to do that. Declare for a 36, for a 24 or 48-hour period, no one will complain about anything. And suddenly what you'll become aware of is how many wonderful things there are in your life. I'll just conclude with one thought. As a rabbi, I'm often exposed to happy events, weddings, bar mitzvahs, but also as a rabbi, you're disproportionately exposed to unhappy events. Sometimes I'll meet with someone to whom a really bad thing has happened, an irrevocable thing, a loss of health, and the person will say to me, Rabbi, if things could only go back to being the way they used to be, I'd be so happy. But I knew those people when things were the way they used to be and they weren't happy. It's terrible when people can only appreciate happiness when they no longer have it. One of the ways to start appreciating happiness now and all the good things in your life is to declare a complaining fast.